Is America headed for civil war? We've seen a lot of disruptions in 2020, and it just seems to continue. We think we're going to get a break, and then something else happens. The Washington Examiner just released an article where there were polls taken that showed that 61% of those polled believe that civil war is imminent, and that 52% of those were actually stockpiling and preparing. And then we've seen the protest and the civil unrest that not only are spurred by racial motives, but also by just political motives, with Antifa and a big push toward more of a socialist type government. And then it is an election year, and election years are always a little bit volatile, but this year is a big one, and the lines are really drawn. And so with that being said, there are a lot of reasons why there's a potential feeling and a fear that civil war could be on the horizon. And also we have the Supreme Court justice nominations, and now Trump has COVID-19. Guys, I've never seen a year like this, and there probably hasn't been a year like this since possibly the original Civil War back in the 1800s. America is definitely divided, and there's a lot of people that are concerned about the future of our country. Now, I'm going to have the Washington Examiner article down below in the description, and you can look at all the details. What was really funny is the polls are actually for industrial purposes, and it's Back to Normal Barometer is the initiative. And they're trying to see what the trends are so companies know what to produce and what the outlook is. And even those that did the poll were completely surprised at the results. Now, personally, I'm not saying we're definitely going into civil war. There's a lot of factors. Another thing is, it's not drawn up state to state. A lot of states are heavily conservative, a lot of states are heavily liberal, but there's a big mix all throughout those states. And guys, honestly, it should be a wake-up call that people are actually feeling this way. This is the atmosphere that we're living in. Now, because of that, I don't want to leave you with, are we going to have a civil war, but what can you do to possibly keep yourself and your family safe? And what kind of actions can you take? First thing I want to mention is that typically in different countries where there is civil unrest and possibly even civil war, is a lot of times communities just band together, build security teams, and protect their communities and their families. And the combatants are usually outside of the communities. And so that is one of the first things, is that you need to build a community. And I've been saying that for a while. We have a pretty good-sized prepper group, and we just work together talking about different things, trying to pass along information, and just be ready for any kind of situation. Also, that just have people that have your back. And that is one of the biggest things. It doesn't have to be people moving down to your place or you having to go somewhere, but just putting your resources together and thinking, what can we do to protect ourselves and our families? Number one is just food and water. Distribution services have been disrupted at the first of the year, and there can be a lot of shortages with a lot of the things that are going on. Not to mention the environmental things that we've seen, whether it's hurricanes that are coming up through the Gulf or the West Coast that was just on fire. And so we need to really make sure that we have our basic essentials put back. And again, food, water, medical, and not just, medical as in trauma kits and emergency medical, but more like just basic medical things that, like antacids, like Imodium, like Tylenol, like your Band-Aids. But then also having trauma kits really could be critical, especially if, first responders are not able to get to calls, which we're already seeing all over the country. Now, because of the defund the police movement, a lot of cities have been cutting their budgets. So crime has really increased in those areas. And if you live in a city or a suburb of those cities, calling 911 is not necessarily going to be a quick response if you get any response. And so really having some means of self-defense is important. Now, right now, because gun sales and ammunition sales are through the roof, if you can find it, you need to go ahead and secure whatever you can to be able to protect yourself and your family. And of course, that has a lot to do with where you live. But guys, there's a lot of first-time gun buyers out there, and a lot of them just can't find ammunition. Now, obviously, there are some non-lethal options, and you can look into that just to be able to do what you can do to protect your family, protect the things that you have. Because honestly, guys, if your supplies are gone, especially your food and water, you're going to have a hard time surviving any kind of situation. So again, guys, I'm going to have the Washington Examiner article down below, but right now is the time to be prepared. The really surprising thing is while 52% are stockpiling goods, and Costco and Sam's Club and Walmart and all these places are seeing unprecedented sales of especially essential items, there's still 49% that aren't preparing. Make sure that you're at least in that 51% and have your pantry full. Have at least 2 to 3 months supply of food and water put back. And guys, if nothing happens, then you'll just be able to eat the food and drink the water that you have. The medical supplies, you can use them later. And it's really just investing now into the future. So guys, while we talk about survival and we talk about prepping and all this stuff, we are preparing to live. And to live, there are certain basic essentials that you need. And because winter is coming, guys, you need to make sure that you do have some way to heat your home, or at least have extra blankets and sleeping bags and things like that to be able to protect yourself from the elements. So guys, while I'm not saying that civil war is imminent, you definitely need to take precautions, and you need to have you and your family prepared. It's going to take a lot of the panic out. You'll be able to make better decisions, better judgments when you know that you have food and water put back. And guys, no matter what happens, pray for our nation. We need it now more than ever. Guys, I'm a big proponent of having precious metals, not as an investment, but more to protect your wealth and a hedge against inflation, especially in troubled times. Now, sometimes gold can be pretty expensive, and so Acre Gold has a subscription service where you pay $50 a month toward a 2.5 gram bar of gold. It's 0.999% pure gold. These are minted in Switzerland. They're in this really cool protective case that ensures the quality. And it's a great way to have physical gold in your hand. Now, I have an affiliate link down below in the description. You click on it, you will be entered into giveaways that Acre Gold does. And you can also see all the other plans that they have as well, and a lot about the company. But guys, precious metals, it's just really smart to have part of your portfolio locked away. And guys, this won't break the bank, but when the bank breaks, you're going to have physical gold there to protect your wealth. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Then we've seen that, stop it, but the Washington Examiner, is America headed for civil war? Is America, of those that were polled, said that they were, so again guys, while I'm not saying that it's, that horn, there he goes.